Do. What's up? Welcome to week 3 of the Salty RUNBACK. I am your host, Jacob Qualitea Crawford. Joined with me is Justin Squints. I forgot your last name. Shit, Rhodes. Oh, and I'm gonna mess up Grant's name. Grant, which of your gamer tags do you want to be called by this week? Relic or Mammoth? Relic it is.
Relic.
McPolin. Right? I got it right? I got it right. And then there's Chris. I'm not going to introduce him all the way. So welcome to the show, guys. Sorry that we didn't show up yesterday. We had a bunch of live stuff happen at one time. I realized that me and Megan were on one vehicle this week, and she gets off at 7 o'clock, and we start the stream at 6:30. And if we came back and immediately did that, we wouldn't eat dinner. So we had to go do our other things. Everybody else had something going on, too. So we decided to reschedule, come back a little bit extra prepared for today, and hopefully the quality of the show has gone up for you guys. So today we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about PMA LCS stuff. We're going to talk about things that teams need to focus on. We're going to talk about some players to watch. Naturally, we're going to have predictions for both the first and second division matches this week, and we'll keep track. We'll see which of the casters is the most correct at the end of the split. So you can be like, "Aha, that guy's fucking dumb." Come the end of the split when I say all of the wrong teams are going to win. After that, we'll do like a quick thing of the pro scene, talk about, all those games that you should have watched, because there was a lot of professional League of Legends happening this week. At least 3 of the regions doing 5-game series. Chris will run down the patch notes for us. We got some spicy Reddit discussion that we wanted to talk about this week. And then other than that, that's all we got for you. Hopefully we'll keep this pretty short, but we're going to run through everything. And so our first topic of discussion, guys, is what do you think the teams need to focus on in week 1 of the PMA LCS? And we're going to turn it over to our newest host, Justin, who had a cat just walk in, and I also see Olivia in the background. What we got going on? Justin, what do you think teams need to focus on in week 1?
So week 1, and in my experience in the past of PMLCS, week 1, I think it's all about team communication. And by communication, I mean who's making the shot calls, who's the voice of the team, and on top of that, just making sure that every other player is communicating what they know about the game state. So all of that, and then making sure that people actually commit to the calls, that their voice is leading the team. I think in general, teams who succeed early on in the season already have their comms solidified.
Come out with somebody that already has a solid voice, which hopefully on our team, somebody has got a solid voice already, because your boy definitely don't want to be talking in the middle of team fights anymore, because my voice is tired after last season. Grant, what do you think people need to be focusing on as far as their team play this week?
Making sure, just kind of to echo what Justin said, making sure you're all on the same page. I think it's more important that you all are succeeding together, but you're also failing together. As long as that can kind of happen at the beginning, I can see long-term success for teams, whether or not that be polishing plays or dives or whatever. Yeah.
Chris, are you going to echo the same thing?
Kind of, but I think just finding a couple of comps that work, kind of delving into each other's champ pools, not necessarily trying a ton of new stuff in the first week, just more building synergy, and even just playing games together, not even necessarily League of Legends, but or Summoner's Rift. I think playing ARAMs has some value in there too, to build team fight synergy and calling targets, stuff like that. Kind of similar to what the other guys have said. Just this first week is all about kind of figuring everybody out and just getting a play style for everyone. So even if you're just kind of hanging out with other brothers and norms, getting a couple of the teammates together, or even 3, and getting 2 other brothers to fill in slots, stuff like that. Just playing games together will do your team a huge will be a big boon to your team, I think.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think one of like the favorite games that if Dylan were here, he would praise me for saying this. But I think one of the best games you could play that's still in the MOBA genre that really promotes team play really well is Heroes of the Storm. So if you want to take a break from League for a little while and you want to still work on like communication and stuff like that, naturally you can go play a bunch of other games. But I think you should play Heroes of the Storm, if anything. And Chris is just deadpanning the camera at me right now. I'm serious. That game is really good for team communication because from the go, basically from like the first 3 minutes of the game, when that first objective spawn, it's all team fighting. So you're working on your comms, you're working on your communications, you're working on seeing who's going to be the voice in your setting. But beyond just working on communication, I think one of the things that people need to focus on for week 1 is, man, limit test. Like, you got nothing to lose right now. Like, there's like, you want to get a hot start? Okay, fine. Focus hard, get a hot start. But man, I want to see people making spicy plays. I want to see like at least volibear dives up top. I want to see people trading aggro correctly on turrets. I want to see teams realizing what they can and can't do from the early onset, and then learning how to play around where they're at on those types of like mechanical abilities of their teams. Like communication, great, fine. You can talk about setting up a dive all day, but can you actually do it? I want to see if you can do it. So that's going to be my biggest takeaway for this week. And what people need to focus on is if you can make these big mechanical limit testing plays. So get out there and do those things, guys. And so with all of that in mind, let's talk about some champions. So when we consider the PMA LCS, there's a ton of champions that come to mind that are staples. And we talked about those last week. Sejuani, Sivir, Morgana. Like, they're all out there. We know that we have tons of people that can play them, and even people that can't play them can play them. Or even people we consider that are not mains. We'll just bust those out. No, hey, they suddenly have 100K mastery on Morgana. Where'd that come from? Like, we've got at least everybody has a pocket Morgana or a pocket Sivir that they can pull out. But I want to talk about champions that are underrepresented in the league. So, Chris, in your mind, who do you think is the most underrepresented champion in the PMA LCS?
I'm going to vote for Twisted Fate. I think that TF is just a huge, like, gives your mid laner so much agency. Like, he just, like, roams all around the map, can influence everybody, including his own lane, by the way. Like, he's not just somebody who doesn't stay in lane. Like, he still has some kill pressure in some matchups. Like, and obviously I think that there are, some bad matchups for him, but even if you are in a bad matchup, TF is just one of those champions that you can just do. Like, he's like almost a solo queue champion, but I mean, even still, like, he even gets that much better when you put him in a like a 5s comp. But he's just so hard to execute well and actually pull off that style that I think that's why he's kind of underrepresented. He's really, really strong if you can pull it off, but if he falls flat, it's kind of hard to get back into the game. You're either like have a ton of assists / kills getting ganks off, or you're 0-10 and your ganks suck, and you're
it's definitely not like he doesn't provide utility too. So like,
yeah,
if he got dumpstered on in the early game, it's like, dude, you still have like a map wide, like, champion revealing ultimate that can help set up these plays. You can still gank effectively. Yeah. If you just ult in and gold card and die, like, I mean, whatever, you got the stun off, still revealed the positions of everybody. So like, there's definitely still stuff to work off of when you're talking about Twisted Fate. And it's so weird to me when we consider the nature of our like players that we have all of these like big control mage players like Flesh, like Frank, that just don't play TF. Like, it just seems like that champion would be right at home in those guys' hands, especially somebody like Flesh, who we talked about when we were looking at the draft a couple weeks ago. He's just a player that'll TP.
Yeah.
Why can't you just do both of those things? Like, you get 2 TPs now. So that's just one of those champions that, like, guys, pick that guy up. He's really good. And continuing on, Grant, who do you think is the most underrepresented? Are you gonna keep saying Twisted Fate? Are we gonna keep going in this circle jerk of Twisted Fate, or do you have something?
Oh no. I think you know exactly where I'm going.
No.
I think you all know exactly where I'm going. And that champion is the best, most incredible champion I have
I'm
ever
sorry,
no
something
way.
happened.
I haven't even said the champion's name yet. and that is Tom Kench. Tom Kench is by far one of the best champions to play in a competitive 5 setting because your W is a walking Zanyas. You are the utility. You are the peel champion. You are the best support champion, regardless of what any other support main says. If you don't play this, you're trolling. If you don't play this, you're bad. If you don't play this, I don't really have anything else. You're bad. So I'm gonna say it twice.
Okay, but if you eat me as Tom Kench, and there's about a 95% chance this will happen. If you eat me and I did not want to be eaten yet, I'm gonna tilt. Okay, that's what you have to deal with. You gotta run that risk.
So
just if I tilt, the whole team is tilted.
So Chris is that carry. He will tilt off the face of the earth.
It's not my fault that you a little baby boy.
So, like, when you talk about TK though, like, I know we've had the discussion. We were the eternal battle of if Tom Kench is a good champion or not. And I think he's a good champion in the vacuum of something.
Just pause.
No, stop.
Tom Kench is a good champion?
No. Stop. He's a good champion in the vacuum of something like the PMA LCS. He's in the vacuum of something like the LCS. Somewhere where you have a coordinated setting and you have somebody that you absolutely need to protect who is like,
Are you saying the PMA LCS isn't coordinated?
It is coordinated. No, I'm literally saying that it's coordinated.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is in the vacuum of solo queue, you don't need to play Tom Kench because you're going to do that crap to Chris, and he's gonna get eaten when he don't want to be ate.
Exactly.
And he's gonna get mad and he's gonna get tilted. That's the whole argument that I have against Tom Kench. And that's why I think he's a bad champion, because 95% of our players beyond the PMLCS are just solo queue grinders. So why play that champion at all other than playing him in a team practice setting where he's going to be most effective as it is?
Yeah, so you definitely can't do Senna Tom Kench like outside in solo queue. Like you just can't. There's I mean you can't and expect to win the game.
Bet?
I mean, so that opens up an interesting discussion point then. Like,
Justin, what are your thoughts on this? We haven't heard from you on Tom Kench yet, and you're a support man.
Come on, Justin. Back me up here.
Okay, initially when Grant asked the question, is Tom Kench good? I was on the no side. I thought in every situation besides fives, especially solo queue, it wasn't worth playing into. But if you have a good solo or a duo in the bot lane with a Senna or just a good duo in general, he can be very, very good. And I've played a lot with Grant recently. He's championing that champion, and he's converted me to the Tom Kench is good champion. So I think he's great in a 5 setting, especially with somebody as good as Grant playing him. But I'm definitely not going to pick him up in solo queue.
So there we go. You converted one, and you have me. I'm going to give you a halfway conversion on me. But that's because that's the stance that I've always had, even though you try to say that that's not my stance. But do you think, in the context of the PMA LCS, though, continuing to talk about Tom Kench, do you think that he's a blind pickable champion?
What?
I think, depending on... Actually, yeah, I do.
Yeah, why?
Okay.
Because most of the champions that we're going to play, or that PMA LCS is known for, the Morgana, Tom Kench has a great matchup into. The only ones that's a little suspect is the Alistar. Tom Kench has been seen to be picked into Rel because it can keep the AD carry safe.
Which I find interesting due to her shield breaker.
Yes, but that's not the entire part of the kit that makes him strong. Because you get tanky without the shield. The shield is just an extra bonus. Like it takes a while for people to break through that health bar in the first place. So I think it's a solid pick. Is it blind pickable?
I think if you're bold enough to pick Tom Kench in the first place as a champion, you can blind pick it. I think
Yeah, exactly. You know what? There we go. Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's entirely fair.
Best champion in the game.
okay.
I think Udyr wants a word.
Best champion in the game.
Before we get a word from Udyr, let's talk to Justin. Justin, do you have an underrated and underrepresented champion?
Yeah, so I actually have a champion where I don't think a lot of people would see me go, as that's into the jungle role, as Fiddlesticks. Looking at his stats in the past, in the last 700 some games that the PMLCS have played, he's been picked 8 times, banned once, which gives you overall PB rate of 1.17, which is just insane to me. I think in a jungle role, a lot of our junglers, if they want to play a carry champion like that, could easily pick him up. Big team fight, PMLCS and their team fights, big team fight champ, big pick champ. I think he'd be great in almost any comp that you can come up with. I'm surprised to only see him picked up 8 times.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, he's a champion that preys on teams that aren't as coordinated and like their vision is a little bit weaker. Maybe like he is just a champ that can come over a wall at any point. They're just like randomly and AOE fear your entire team. Like so. I think that's some utility there too, because not all PMA LCS teams are on the same page sometimes, and I think that it's a little bit more abusable as far as vision and stuff. We're not like we're not pretending to be pros here, so I think that him as a champion is just thrives in those chaotic situations like that. So
I don't know, man. I think Grant tries to put on his Vulcan cosplay every single week when he plays in the PMLCS. He's trying
yes,
to play as much as he can. And
yes, sir.
I'm definitely just trying to play like Bloodwater did when Sona was relevant back in season 3. So, but to kind of piggyback off of the champions that abuse low coordination or champions that abuse like low vision, I'm going to say a jungler that I'm really kind of surprised that I don't actually see more coming out of our mid laners too, or even our top laners in some cases. It's Nocturne. Nocturne in both jungle and solo lanes is a little spooky. And when we consider all of the people in this league that play Shen, like, why hasn't this duo been picked up even more? That's a free transfer of Shen taunts onto the backline. It's free access to the backline as long as they're in range. Like that champion, during my climb of trying to learn jungle, if I couldn't play Volibear or Elise, I was playing Nocturne so I could hard farm or Fiddlesticks even. Like I was playing those two like champions that just abuse the lack of coordination that are in solo queue. But I think there's enough, especially when you consider how deep our support pool are in the league and how deep and just how well everybody in the league, even like first division or second division, like all of our supports are all like really, really, really competitive. And they all really, really care about their vision score. So like these are like players that like they have this focus, but like I think like when you get the two supports that match up together that have this battle well and you coordinate it well, then Nocturne is something that can just definitely abuse the league if he's played correctly. So that's my pick. So we had what? We had Twisted Fate, we had Nocturne, we had Fiddlesticks, and then we had Tom Kench. So we're not saying that like these are the most degenerate picks that you could possibly make. We're just saying that they're picks to look at. If you have somebody on your team that knows how to, do a proper full clear and won't just hug their jungle forever and actually knows how to gank if it's presenting itself, play Nocturne or Fiddlesticks. Like you can gank pre-level 6 on those champions. It's possible. Trust me, it's possible.
Jungle too. Oh, it works.
It works. It works, but is it good, Fred? I have to throw it out there because we're going to get to the patch notes later, and Gwen's coming out, And Fred's going to be playing that crap in the jungle, and it's going to be tilted me, even though it's probably not going to be the best jungle.
Fred, if you're here, we love you.
Yes, we love you, Fred. But still, I know you, man. You're gonna play champions that don't belong in the jungle because that's just you, and that's what I love about you. Regardless, those are the champions. So if you can play those champs, put a little time on those champs. Definitely see if they're going to be worthy of an investment on your team. But transitioning from underrated and underrepresented, let's talk about champions that we think are going to be picked the most in the league. And I'm going to start us off where I think at least the most banned champion, if not the most picked champion, is going to be Volibear.
Whoa.
I was thinking about saying Udyr, but I think Volibear is right there with him in that discussion. And I think we have enough top laners and junglers between first and second division that's like, hey, I want somebody that's equally able to hard smash lane and dive really well in top lane. I want to play that champion. He's really good. He's got some builds and sustain, but he also abuses chem tank from the jungle. That's my pick for this week. Chris, who you got?
I think that if we're talking picks and bans, like I'm thinking as far as most picked or banned, I think it's going to be Viego 100%. At least in the upper, the first division. I think that a lot of people are picking up Viego, mid laners and junglers, and I think that it's just going to be probably permaban week one until people can figure out how to play against it. But if we're talking about just picks, I'm going with Malphite. I think that Malphite is going to be heavily prioritized among a lot of top laners this first week because he just sets up so much. I mean, he's just like he's so relevant, even being down, or even in the matchup. He's just so incredibly tanky and just presses R. And can turn a fight. And so I think that he's just so easy to execute that I think a lot of people, as we're talking about building these synergies earlier, like with our what team should focus, people are going to be looking for champions that are easier to execute on the first go around so that they can then focus more on their team synergy and fighting and stuff like that. So Malphite.
I don't know. I'm gonna echo the Greg point of there are other champions that exist that are not giant rocks.
Yeah, but why would you play them when you can play Malphite?
You can play a giant rock, like
exactly.
It's not a boulder; it's a rock.
I mean, he's a literal planet-sized rock. Hello, like
it's true. Have you guys seen his model, by the way, for Wild Rift? He looks so good in Wild Rift.
Yeah,
he looks jacked. But anyway. Grant, who do you have for our most picked ban champ in your eyes?
So are we doing it just off the first week, or are we doing it?
Like, who do you think is going to be the most, like out of the first week? Like, who do you think is going to be the most hotly contested pick? Because by the time we roll around into into a couple weeks, like we're going to be looking at a whole different set of patch notes that could just change things up.
Yeah.
So,
because I like the Malphite. The Malphite just makes a ton of sense. If I wanted to echo history of PMA LCS, I would go with something like an Anivia or a Morgana, because those are like picks that are very common. But just to really tie it all together, a Tom Kench. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm off. I think I also am gonna have to say Malphite. Malphite makes the most sense to me, and if it was all time, I would pick probably Morgana, but.
Justin, no disappointment. Pick somebody that's not a rock.
It's she does rock.
Oh.
Aha, true damage. Senna. I think Senna's going to be a really contested pick, especially in these first couple weeks. I think a lot of teams might be trying out, a fasting Senna build with like a Cho'Gath or a Tom Kench. I kind of hope we see the Senna Tom Kench come out somewhere, but she can go ADC. She can do the fasting support build. I think she's a really powerful pick right now for most of the teams.
Me and Greta giving each other the eyebrows because we're like, oh, who's going to pick it? We've got our matchup this week. Who's going to pick it? Who's going to pick it? But to transition us away from all of the the most picked champions, let's talk about some of the players this week. Let's turn our eyes to the actual people that are going to be doing all of the piloting of these champions. Now, let's talk about our players to watch this week. We each decided to go around. We split it up between the casters. Couple casters took first, couple casters took second. Justin's got his own because Justin's filling in for the good Sean Shannon this week. And throw in your own pick. So I'm going to start us off, and I'm going to say my player to watch this week is Kevin, aka Flydrate. And I know I juiced on his team about a week ago.
You did.
Talking about
You did juice.
how I think they're the best team in the second division. But let me say this: now I'm coaching CJ's team, so I can't say that anymore. So Kevin's team is going to get trashed this upcoming week. But the thing about this is, Kevin's going to be the guy to watch out for, and the reason why he's going to be the guy to watch out for is because he was a draft planning problem for me, because I was looking over his pool. He's done a lot to expand his pool. He's picked up more than just the brand and the Annie that we all know him to play really well. He's expanding over into the Seraphines, the Vigars. There's still these like really solid mage picks, but Kevin knows his style. He knows what he's good at. So I think at least for my money, he's the player to watch. And he's the player that I'm telling everybody on CJ's team to watch this week, because this guy, he's got the eye and mind of a player that's higher than what he's currently ranked at Gold 4. And with all of that effort, I think it's going to show up in terms of mechanical prowess as well. And in the words of our now absent cast member for this week, Sean, I've got his player to watch this week, and that's Malcolm XYZ. And let me tell you this: these are not Sean's words; these are Sean's words that I made sound good, because Sean sent me like 3 words that was like, Malcolm, this. Yes. And I had to expand them. So Malcolm, this is me juicing you, but just let it be known that Sean picked you. So in Sean's fabricated words, I think with this being Malcolm's first split, it's really interesting to look at him as a player to watch in these early weeks. He's a new talent. He's a new face to the scene. He's the main and the most underplayed role in the league, upper and lower, or first and second, whichever you want to be PC about. And he's someone who we can see make a name for themselves early on. So Sean was saying, watch this player early on, because in a couple weeks down the road, when we're asking questions as to why Kevin didn't draft this guy early, here we are. So Malcolm's the guy to watch in Sean's eye. He's the guy that should have had a high priority in terms of the second round or the second division draft. And Justin, who do you got for us in terms of a player to watch this week?
Yeah, so my player to watch this week is going to be back in the jungle. As I'm trying to do my best Sean impression. In the jungle, it's going to be Neil the Steel. Okay. I think Neil is one of the better junglers in the league in the upper division. He's definitely a plays to the team kind of player. Teams that have success against Neil's teams are teams that, triple ban him first round, take away the champions he's good at. But he has been grinding the game. He's been picking up more champs, and you have him on a team with Bear Jr., which I think that mid lane jungle duo is going to be fantastic. I think they have several opportunities to pop off this split if they can get the jungle mid synergy down.
All right. When I look at that duo in particular, I have visions of Yasuo and Sejuani.
Yeah, won't happen. Won't happen. You really think that Bear Jr. will ever get Yasuo in a PMA LCS game again? Do you?
Honestly, I think he might.
Probably once. He'll probably get it once, and then everyone's like, all right. Yeah.
We learned our lesson. Game 2, man. It's possible that, somebody might be like, I'm not that afraid of his Yasuo. We could draft around the Yasuo. If I'm looking at Barrett Jr., I'm a little bit more worried about his Aurelia, personally. His Aurelia's gotten spooky clean, but disregard Barrett Jr. Chris, who do you have for us as a player to watch?
Okay, so yeah, mine was for the first division, and my player is actually 2 players because it's a bot lane, and they're actually here with us today. Our wonderful bot lane Squinty. I'm gonna put them as my players to watch. Now, this is not necessarily saying they're the best players. I'm just kidding. No, but I think that they're an interesting bot lane to look at this week, because first of all, who is going where, but also because they're both like support mains, and I mean, just look at them. Aren't they so lovable? Which one of these guys is going to be doing the damage here? And I think that watching them unveil their play style and see how they're going to actually dictate bot lane, and if they're going to play to the strong side or play to the weak side within their team, and also be able to actually go up against some of these other bot lanes. I'm really excited to see them kind of come out for the first week and perform. I'm looking forward to it.
Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you.
We're
we
looking
need
forward to
salt.
it too.
We need some salt now. So Grant, hit us with some salt.
Yeah, these guys ain't shit. But you guys smell that?
What the Rock's cooking?
Wait, hang on.
The rocks.
I'm hearing mid laners crying.
Oh,
What is this? What?
Cornstar?
Oh God, no, it's Fish Baby Bot in the
Okay.
mid lane. Oh my God, this guy's insane.
He is insane. He is insane.
He's insane.
That's my
He's my
teammate.
player to watch this week. Fish Baby Bot is going to take the mid lane by storm. You've seen him in top lane. You've seen him in jungle back in the good old days. You've seen him everywhere else except for mid lane. But let me tell you, this guy is a mid lane main, and he is a monster. He is coming for you, Adrian, and he is going to take the crown.
Okay.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Okay, just throw it out there for us. What are the top bans against Fish Baby Bot? Just so it's like,
So,
You can't ban him out.
can't
Like,
ban him out. He's got mages. He's got assassins. He's got it all.
He's got
He can play-
tanks.
He's got tanks. He can play Rumble in the mid lane. This
Rumble.
guy is gonna rumble everybody up.
Rumble in the-
jungle.
don't
Rumble in the bungle.
rumble in the bunghole. Let's change it to that because the other one triggers me.
Rumble in the bungle.
Rumble in
So
the
we got Fish Baby, we had Malcolm, we got Kevin, and we had this lovely duo.
Yeah, I couldn't pick just
think-
one
I
of
think
you because like
I
you're
think
both,
it's
you know, it's they're like, who's gonna do what? You know, I just want to see.
I can go ahead and tell you I'm going to play Eddie Carey. I don't think that's a secret from my match history. Unless we pivot dead ass at the last minute, I don't think there's much changes there. But to change this
Strategy
along
week.
now, we're going to talk about a little bit of or we're going to talk about predictions now. And I'm going to turn this over into Chris's lap because he has the schedule and I can't see it. So,
Okay.
Chris,
So
what are our,
this will also be coming out tomorrow once all of the games are finalized. So we're gonna get that put in. But so for the upper or first division, we have Neil's Crab Shack, which is of course JJ Bell, Neil DeSteele, Bear Jr., Dr. Poggers, MD, and Biscuit Hat. And they are playing against Bung's Last Resort, which is my team, Maye's team, Light Pulse, Maye, Fish Baby Bot, myself, and Tambourine King. I won't make a prediction for this one because it's my team, and I think everybody knows we're going to it's not even going to be close. So you guys can take that one away as far as who you think is going to pop off there.
there's a lot of mechanical ability on that team, but I think just from the go, I'm going to give it to your guys, Chris.
Oh,
Just
don't
I-
do this to me. Do not hype me up. We will lose.
I gotta juice you, man.
You.
I gotta juice you up a little bit. I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna give you a 2-0. I'm gonna give you 2-0.
Okay. So that is keep track here. 2-0.
I'm writing it down right now.
I obviously say 2-0, but who knows? Grant.
I just gassed Fish Baby Bot.
Okay.
It's a 2-0.
Okay.
I can't go back now. I think that's gonna be a mid lane to watch. For
Justin,
sure.
will you be the contrarian?
Not for this one. Not
Okay.
for this one. I think you guys take it 2-0, and I'll say this. I think across the board it's very, very even. With top side being the one that I think sways toward you guys, with JJ Bell being off-rolled. I think he's gonna do just great. I want to see what he's like in a 5 environment, especially in the top lane. But with Sebastian up there, Light Pulse 94 being up there, I think he takes the edge on that.
Okay. So that is everybody going for Bung's Last Resort. That's probably a wrong basket to put your eggs in, just from personal experience. But if you guys all want to be wrong, that's okay. So next we have, it's going to be CS Gap versus Draft Diff, and that is of course CS Gap is Sean's team, which with Rafal, Sean, Cornstar, Piper, and Greg. And then Draft Diff being Sivan's team, or Yugi TFT's team, with Opie, Skiz, Fwesh, Yugi, and Jushbox. Predictions.
My prediction is the exact prediction that we were talking about in the middle of draft, which is I think this is C-Van's team versus the world. So I'm going to give C-Van's team a 2-0.
Yeah. How can you bet against them when we juiced them up last? Juiced
I know, right?
them up last week.
We can't. We gotta keep rolling with them. So
Okay.
Who did you say they were up against again?
Sean's teams, CS
Sean's
Gap.
It's week 1. I'll give it a 1-1.
Okay. All right. That's respectable.
I'll give it a 1-1. I think that if any team is going to be poised to take a game off of C-Van's team, or sorry, Yugi TFT's team, I think it would be this one, especially early. I know they've been practicing, and also that gorilla gif is hilarious. So it's a little bit of GIF bias, if I gotta say so. A little GIF bias.
Yeah, I think I'm going with a 1-1 as well. Just because I think CS Gap, if they play to what I see their strengths being, which is probably more towards their top side, I think that they can definitely take a game off of Yugi TFT, if not completely 2-0 them. But I'm going for 1-1 because I think that it's going to be hard to keep that bot lane down 2 games in a row. Just because of the previous energy that they have, and just overall, just looking to where I think that they'll play the game. I think it's going to be hard, but I think they'll get a 1-1 out of it.
Justin?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with the sentiment that Chris has. Actually, I'm going to go with 1-1 as well. If like I said, like Chris said, that bot lane, I think if any bot lane is going to do it, it's going to be the bot lane of Gurg 7, Piper, Isis. Yes, that is a toss-up with Piper coming back to the game, but he and Greg have been playing a lot, and it's going to be bloody across the board. I'm looking at the matchups. It's going to be a really fun game.
Yeah,
all right,
for sure.
Who else you got for us, guys?
Okay, so last one is going to be Axolotls, I think is how you say it.
Yes, sir.
Is that a mythical creature? I've never heard of it.
It's the thing that Mudkip was based off of, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
a real thing?
It's a real. They're cute.
Okay, well, I've never heard that, but yeah, Axolotl on tap, and that their versus Finale, which is so Axolotl's on tap is Violet Sociocat's team with Juice Me Daddy, with of course our own Relic or Mammoth, Total Landscaping, Violet, and this is Apocalypse, and then Legends MK, which would be Acute or Akout, Sarah Cruz, Legends, Qualitea, and Squints. So I think that I'm the only one that can make a prediction here. Pretty much, I think that obviously these 2 guys over here are going to go with 2-0 for them, and this guy up here is going to go 2-0 for his team. So I'm gonna make everybody mad and say it's a 2-0. I think Legends team does it.
Favoritism, yeah. Screw you, he's my best friend.
Okay, hear me out. Here's my reasoning. I know that it's
on the Rift.
Yeah, I know that it's hard to bet against Grant.
It is
because the man has popped off in the past many times. He's known for popping off, but I think just with the nature of Violet Sociocat's team, and I think that they're going to have 2 to 3 people in off roles, that's going to be a little bit more of a learning curve for them. And it's going to, with everybody being somewhat in their main role with Legends team, versus Jake is a support main, but ADC is not that hard, so he can do it. But I think that as far as that goes, I think that there's more people in their main role, and I think it's easier to build synergy that way starting out. I'm not saying that Axolotls on top won't be a contender for the rest of the season, but I think this first week there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve there, and they're just going to have to take an L to Legends MK's team this time, in my opinion. But I'm probably wrong. Who knows? I don't even know, man. We're going for it.
Oh yeah, we'll take the
right. Dude, it's okay. You can have wrong opinions. It's not a big deal.
You can have correct ones too, and that's a fantastic deal for you. So we're going down to the second division now.
Yes, to the second division. We have 4 games here, obviously. So it's Gunji's team. I don't think they've actually submitted a name yet, but it is Gunji, Stormyon, Gare Bear, Quadratic, and Jokul Primer. and they are taking on Labby's team, who actually have not submitted a name yet either. And it's the day before the split, guys. Come on, let's get on this. And that one, of course, is Labby, Malcolm XYZ, Chaotic Sword, Murphy Raudette. Do you pronounce the T in your name? I know you're in chat. And no, not November. So thoughts on this matchup?
I'm giving it to my boy No Not. I think regardless of where if they stick him either in top or if they stick him in bot, I think No Not is a player that has dedicated himself to improvement. And I think, like Sean, that Malcolm is a player to watch. I'm interested to see what Labby's going to do in this team. But I think with those two guys and knowing the potential behind Malcolm and the dedication that's with No Not into improving himself week by week, I think that team is the one to watch out of this matchup. But I'm going to say 1-1 just for the week out of the go. I think these two teams are relatively close in terms of what they bring against each other.
So it is Raudette, by the way. He confirmed. It's
Oh,
also
man.
French, but you pronounce the T, and I thought silent T's were like a French thing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I'm thinking. So Gunji's team was one of my high picks for the split, and I think that I'm going to go with them. I think that the potential with of course Gunji himself, but then Stormion as well to lead this team to victory is too high. So I'm going to go for 2-0.
I'm going to actually echo that and go 2-0 to Gunji's team as well. I think with Gunji, he is an esports coach, if y'all didn't know. Coaches League of Legends. Very, very smart guy. I think that combined with Stormion's carry potential is going to be too much for Labyrinth's team to take.
All right. Grant, you're brooding.
My boy, Murphy Rod, is a monster. So much of a monster that I have blind faith in him to carry teams. I give it to his team 2-0.
All right. We're very mixed on this one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so next then is going to be it's going to be Klugscheiser's team with the Dylan Hortensi Memorial Stadium, or DOMS, versus the Gank These Nuts. So that would be for Klug's team. It's the real JLP, Iruyan, literally Nate Klug, and Asta Staria. And then for Flydrate's team, it is Quick McSchmick, Insteady, Flydrate, El Sheikha, and Packard Diehard. So I don't know. There may be a sub coming in here, but yeah,
we're gonna lightly say reckless.
yeah. But yeah. So just based on those teams, what would you say?
I gotta opt out of this one because I'm coaching CJ's team.
I gotta opt out of this one because I am the roommate of CJ's mid laner and I'm coaching Kevin's team.
Neither of these are CJ's team.
Yeah, they are.
No, it's Flydrate. All right, hold on. Wait, yeah. Flydrate and Klugscheiser's team.
Oh,
not CJ's team.
CJ, you told me the wrong team. I'm draft planning for the wrong people over here.
Well, then I'm gonna opt out of this one because I'm still roommates with Cole's mid later and Kevin's.
Right? Am I drunk? Am I drunk? Is this on the scheduler wrong?
Wait, it says they're facing Grievance team.
Whoa. Okay, our scheduler doc is like wrong.
Scheduler? I barely know her.
Okay, no. So this is gonna be Jimmy's team versus Klug's team. I looked at the doc wrong. It's right on our doc. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. So Klug's team is the same. JLP, Aruyan, Nate, Klug, and Mr. Matt or Astastaria, and then the Jimmy's team, which is Big Dick Jimmy, Happy by 3, Tenor, Mistborn, and Super Hoagie. Those are your. I looked at the doc wrong. Sorry. Go ahead.
Now I'm just confused as to who we're talking about.
Klug's team. Yes, you're not opting out. This is Klug's team versus Jimmy's team.
I'm all in on whatever team has Hoagie too.
Okay.
Kluge's team.
I'm not gonna explain it. 2-0.
Okay. He's going for Jimmy 2-0. Okay.
Kluge 2-0.
Klug 2-0.
Kluge 2-0.
Personally, I'm gonna go with Klug 2-0 as well.
It's a 1-1 for me, guys.
1-1 for him. He's not gonna break it. Okay. All right, that's fair enough. I think that this is gonna be that kind of like the figuring out week for both of these teams. So I'm very excited for this one.
All right, so now we're on.
Yes,
the other one.
yes, we're on to the Flydrate Gank D's Nuts with Quick McSchmick, Insteady, Flydrate, So Reckless, or El Sheikha, I guess is what he changed his name to, and then Pecker. And that team is facing against Revan's team with Bees Knees, so Bees Are Us, Slag a Hook My Book, Revan, and Symphonia John. So both of our up top people have opted out. Justin, what do you think about this matchup?
I think it's 2-0 to Kevin's team. I already forgot their name. With that in mind, and knowing that they might have a sub, if they don't,
No, they have So Reckless this week. I think Kevin said so.
They have So Reckless this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, So Reckless was actually going to be my player to watch. I think he is a gamer boy, being Diamond in Overwatch, and I've always seen him exponentially grow in this game. He is going to pop off in the lower division. That's a great pickup by Kevin, and then just the rest of that team. I will see how it turns out, especially week 1. We never know, but I think they take it 2-0.
Yes, sir.
I think that they each get a game off of each other and go with 1-1. I think that there's obvious we look at league veteran Symphonia John in the bottom lane, and like, how do you count this guy out, man? Like, you can't bet against him. So I'm gonna go for a 1-1 there.
All right. So that wraps up our predictions.
Nope. There's one more. We have Delammenback's team, Teacock, 2 coaches, 1 cup, versus versus 4 tops and a bottom of Guy Fierick's team. So these team names, I mean, if we're grading on team names, this is a definite 1-1 because those are some spicy names, boys.
Those are good, guys. Those are good.
So with Diamondback's team, that's Zen42, Old Boy, From Embers, OK3LJ 2109, IW2 UI33, and Diamondback, and that they are facing off against Guy Fierick's team, which is all the top laners, Necro Guy, Garfield Juice, Fling Panda, Guy Fierick, and then Hodor Nation locking down the support. So thoughts on this one, guys?
I'm never going to doubt any team that has the Grandmaster Slayer on it. But this one's a toss-up for me. I think it could go either way this week. I'm going to give them a 1-1 just to play safety.
Teacock 2-0.
I'm going Jake. I think 1-1 for this reason. I think both these teams, you see where their strengths come from. And knowing, I know it's 4 tops and a bottom, but Eric has played ADC, Panda has played support, and Juice Man is the fill man. So yeah. I see where the power is coming from both of them, but I do think they do 1-1.
Well, Teacock was my team to pick to run away with the league. I've kind of thought it was similar to the Yugi TFT situation in First Division. So I'm gonna go for a 2-0 this week with 2 coaches, 1 cup. And that wraps up all of our predictions for both the first and the second division. So now we'll be moving over to the pro scene, like a quick review of that. We're just going to kind of hit the high points there, and I think Jake's going to start with the LCS.
Yeah, and we're gonna be really fast about this because, boys, I got 30 minutes. And this week we saw 4 best of 5s, or not best of 5, 4 best of 3s go to game 5. If I'm saying it correctly, and that's insane. In a
best of 3s go to game 5. Wait, Best of fives.
Best of fives. Yeah, we saw best of fives go to 5 games. Blah. I can't talk. And that's insane. From the LEC into the LCS, I think it was the LP or the LCK that also did it. No, LCK. Nope, I'm wrong. Actually, I'm wrong. I'm just dead ass wrong. We had 2 regions play 10 games. That's nuts. LPL was, I think,
They went to 5
FPX.
games.
They went to 5 games. Okay, so I was right. We had, somebody fix me.
RNG or the RNG series went to 5 games this morning.
Okay, so then we had 15 games of League of Legends get played over the weekend, which was nuts. And then the only region that we didn't have like 5 games go to was, I think, China, which was 3-0. So that was Damn One Gaming. I think everybody expects them to win Worlds, right?
That's Korea, but yes,
Korea. Excuse me. Wow. God, I can't wear. Sean's our Eastern League guy. I'm having to just say words this week.
Where's our Eastern League guy?
Yeah, where's that guy over there? Where is he?
Where's that guy? But yeah, man, that's a nuts amount of League of Legends for a week, and you guys should have seen that series against C9 and TL. Like, I think it was they like C9 dropped down to 1-2, and then that's when Perks hit his power spike. So like there's just a good amount of League of Legends. Go watch the SWATs, guys. That's all I gotta say. Those were just an awesome series to watch.
Grant, what about the LEC?
LEC, well, like I talked about last podcast, G2 historically did not make it, which is insane already, which means there are new kings. And how fitting is it that the king of the jungle is the king of LEC now, the Mad Lions? Boy, they went down 0-2 to Rogue, and they were about to steal that away, as a rogue, like a little thief does. They just steal that finals away from them. But all of a sudden, the Lion just clenches that back with some beautiful team play. Like, actually insane. We have probably one of my favorite support players to watch, Kaiser. He is probably top 5 supports in the world right now. Do yourself a favor, watch some LEC finals. You will not regret it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all we have to offer for you in terms of just what we're looking at in the pro scene. RNG versus FPX is going to happen on Sunday. So if you're wanting to watch the last bit of the LPL championship, take a look at that. Hopefully that'll go to 5 games too, and then everybody can just point and laugh at the other region that just went 3-0. Ooh, look at those guys, not even want to have entertaining League of Legends. Get them out of here. Now we're going to look at some patch notes though, because we're about to roll up on Gwen's release.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff going on in these patch notes.
Gwen is coming out this patch. I'll pan the thing over here and pull it up so that we can kind of look at it here. I'm only going to go through a little bit of this because there's a lot, and I know Jake has an interview with Afromu, by the way. Sorry, it's to spoil your news, but he already told us this. So yeah, we're just kind of hit the high points here. Mainly, York is getting nerfed. Thank you. Please get this guy out of my solo queue games. Like, praise up, bless up, and some kind of interesting buffs, I think. So, like, Aphelios getting buffed with his lethality, like, passive, and then also his R stuff is getting completely tuned back up. Just a little bit on every gun. I think that Aphelios definitely needs this. He's kind of been out of the meta, and I don't think it's necessarily going to just put him over the top here, especially because the lethality thing is like the thing you do last on Aphelios, like 9 times out of 10, if not just every time. So I think that this is going to make people play him a little bit more, but I don't think he's like going to be pushed into S tier yet as far as that goes. We do have an anti-buff, anti-nerf, sorry. So W cost going up. Sorry, Kevin, you got nerfed. Get destroyed, kid. And then we're going to go down to look at the York nerfs as well. So this one, his passive gets hit with how much the Mistwalkers actually do, as far as his total AD, and then his E got hit as well. With it was this one's kind of a change. It's not necessarily just a true nerf. It's more of like a power shift. You have to keep the little minions alive. Like, so before, when you would hit your E on somebody as Yorick, the Morning Mist, all of his little squiddy guys would jump on you. Ghouls, I guess, is what they're officially called. Mistwalkers. Yeah. And they would all do 200% damage on their first attack. Well, instead, they're breaking up that 200% damage and they're putting it over the next 8 attacks. So, like, every attack does, like, 40% more damage. So, if you can kite them out and actually kill them, you're going to end up taking less damage. But obviously, for the duration, if they all get to hit you the whole time, then you're going to take more damage in regards to that. So, focusing down his minions there. And then the turret priority on his maiden is actually like down, like it like changed the priority on the maiden to like attacking like all the minions before attacking the maiden if the maiden has not attacked the champion. So like the priority reverses then if you start to tower dive people, but like if your maiden's just walking under the tower and not hitting the enemy champion, it'll still prioritize all the lane minions. That's how that works pretty much. So that's any comments on these like champion things before we go to items, like anything you guys saw in the patch notes that maybe you wanted to bring up as far as like huge? I don't think anything else was giant.
The jungle changes are significant in terms of like what champions they're trying to drag into the jungle now. Darius, Diana, I think Morgana buffs too. Morgana's the fastest clear. Zed jungle's back since the first time of his release. Like these are, it's incentive for people to play jungle. If you're not playing it right now, if you've got a main and top or mid, then they want you to start playing jungle a little bit, because definitely I think their complaint was for folks that are in gold and below, they're not attracted to jungle, and there's so much power and presence that's in jungle, they want more people learning it. So that was their incentive behind putting these guys who are mainstay champions in their mid and top and support to get into the jungle a little bit more. We already saw a little bit of incentive for Morgana to go that way. I'm surprised that they've wanted Zed.
Yeah, the thing about some of these though is I think that sure, putting it into Darius's passive is a way to get him to not take his jungler's camps, but I really just see, like, for example, Darius, maybe not Diana. Diana was a little bit of a fringe pick in the jungle already with her E being changed. Since her E got changed, pretty much some people have been picking her up in the jungle more, but still primarily a mid laner. I think for especially though Darius and Mordekaiser, this is just giving them fuel to be able to like go and take Grump when the jungler is bot side, or I mean like when the jungler is on the opposite side of the map, the top side camp there is like free for the taking pretty much. I think that's kind of what this is going to do for those, and they're just going to kind of even get stronger in top lane. But I don't think that Darius jungle, I don't think the problem with Darius jungle is the hemorrhage damage on the camps. I think it is, how do you gank a lane as Darius jungle?
Ghost, run them, build Stridebreaker, do what he does in top lane already.
Yeah. So exactly. And at that point it's like, okay, what champion can I think of off the top of my head that maybe also takes Ghost but doesn't necessarily even have to, that would gank a lane better than Darius? Oh, Udyr. Hecarim. No, like it's like, wait a minute. So it's like, again, what's the actual benefit here is my kind of logic for these. Zed and the assassin jungles are a little bit more interesting because Zed at least has gap closes and like tons of damage out of the jungle. It's not necessarily a typical utility pick, but so it's something a little bit different. But yeah, I think especially the Darius one and the Mordekaiser one are just going to be like picks that are better in top lane now. I don't same with Mordekaiser. Like, how do you actually gank a lane? You walk into the lane and hope that they don't run away from you, and then you death roam them, and then your laner can't even help. So I don't know. Like it's like it just seems kind of wacky to me. So,
kill secure, baby.
I think the Morgana one is going to be. I think that we will see Morg jungle though. That's the actual pick there for sure. So moving on to items, they are changing a little bit of the Moonstone Renewer. I don't know if you guys, these Portal combat mains here, all three of you, geez, I'm outnumbered, have looked at this, but they're changing the making the heal more flat, and then they're also like changing up a little bit of the amplification passive. So I think they're overall tuning that down. as far as that goes. So, thoughts on this one from our supportal mains?
Well deserved. I
Yeah.
think this item has been creeping itself in to places that it shouldn't be.
The jungle.
Like in the jungle, in mid lane, when we see enchanter mythics, or it's even labeled as a support mythic. I like the idea of having supportive mid laners. I think that's really, really smart and healthy for the game, or even like supportive junglers. But the thing that's not healthy about it is when one support item takes over or overshadows the rest of them, to like make it not even close.
Yeah.
Like there are support champions that would benefit from building Imperial Mandate and or Shirelia's, and they just don't build it because Moonstone is just that strong.
Yeah. And we are seeing some power put into Shirelia's too, with like changing the entire like Inspire passive thing. They're like removing that damage, the additional magic damage, and they're changing it into kind of like an old Shirelia's, like speeding up your team pretty much. Like if you cast an empower or protecting ability on an allied champion, you get like you and all of like the allies that you're protecting. So like for example, Seraphine, if she does the like double like speed up thing or the double shield thing, everybody's going to get 25% move speed over 1.5 seconds. So that's pretty good there as well too. Definitely a good situational pick, and then also change the mythic passive from passive move speed to ability haste. So that one's going to be a little bit more of a situational pick. And then Staff of Flowing Water is also losing move speed and changing it into 20 ability haste and 20 to 40 AP on its passive.
For all of you aspiring Sona mains out there, because there's more than just me, right? Please, there's more than 12 of us.
Yeah,
that's really good for us.
Yeah, well, why would you play Sona when you could also play Seraphine? That is Sona 2.0.
Play Sona when you can play better Sona.
Yeah, better Sona. More recent Sona.
It's inevitably going to get nerfed. And Sona actually has a rework that's in the works that reduces her cooldowns.
They already did it.
Did they already do that?
Yeah.
It hasn't
Seraphine.
Shut the fuck up. It hasn't been shipped yet. But they have a thing that basically allows Sona to spam her abilities even more. And I think this is going to be a step into that direction to give you an idea. So pick that up.
So, okay, tangent. Since we do have a couple of minutes, here's a tangent real quick. Why not, instead of releasing Seraphine and reworking Sona into something else, why not just make Seraphine like a Sona rework and then release that entire champion as a new person? Come on. What's the point? Money. That's what it is.
Don't hurt me. I'm already dead.
Yeah. Well, okay. They're also buffing Frozen Heart, because who builds Frozen Heart? Just getting 10 armor. Chemtech Purifier is like getting. Wait. Okay. I just had to read and make sure. It's actually your damage and your allies' damage. That's what they changed about it. To get the Grievous Wounds, it's not just the allies' damage that gives you Grievous Wounds 60%. It's your damage too. So they just changed that. And then they also made the the tooltip a little bit clear. Oh, he's done it. The Mad Lad has done it.
Where'd Dustin go? Seraphine, can you tell us?
That's all the champions' lines are.
But yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest things about the patch. So anything else that you guys saw that was like just huge?
I think the Lucidity Boots nerf there is pretty big.
Yeah,
since
I can see that.
Like everybody and their brother's building those right now, and ability haste is important on everybody. So you might need to like actually think about your boots a little bit more.
Oh, this is no. I just completely missed the Rammus rework.
The Rammus rework. He's got the little jumpy thing on his.
Yeah. So this is going to be different too. Like he's got the freaking come on and slam. Yeah, because I guess Space Jam 2 coming out, they wanted to, whatever. That's a dated reference. Sorry. But yeah, no. So this is going to be big too, and I think this is going to be live for the PMLCS. So we'll see if Rammus comes out. But I think this is going to be spicy. Yeah. So that's all I have for as far as patch notes go. And so I think we're just moving on to any kind of general discussion that we have, any wrapping things up, or
I would drag us into these discussion posts that I found, but I'm going to leave them here for next time because I'm getting messages that I need to start getting ready. So I got to go get ready. So I'm going to send us into the signing off. Quick TLDR of what I'm about to do is I'm about to interview Afro for a wrap up of the split that Dignitas had, as well as an Alistair guide, which is going to be neat. And that's what I got going on with me this week. The thing that I'm not doing this League of Legends, I'm playing more WoW. I'm trying to get back into that crap some more because I'm trying to be a content producer in that game as well. So that's all I got. Justin.
Yeah. So when I'm not playing League, I'm actually playing the new Binding of Isaac game. Basically, they changed a lot of stuff in that game. It's called Repentance. Huge meta change. I don't know if any of you are remotely familiar with Binding of Isaac, but it's one of my favorite games to play when I'm not, addicted to this game.
Yeah.
For me, it's still lots of work and just getting in League games and preparing for wedding stuff that has gotten more hectic, and as things are wrapping up here close to the end. So
we're a month away.
Yeah, a month away. About 6 weeks, actually. Yeah. So looking forward to that.
And for me, when I'm not playing League, I am preparing to move to Washington, D.C.
Oh, Washington, D.C.
I'm moving to D.C. with literally Nate, one of our brothers.
Hell yeah.
You guys are like actually moving together or just be living there?
Okay. They're literally roommates.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
I'm literally excited.
We're literally happy for you. And
yeah.
Like I said, we're going to table our discussion for some stuff next week, but I want to put this bug in your ear so you guys can have this in your mind. Start thinking about and get ready to engage this chat on if ranked actually matters and if flex queue is an accurate determination of a player's skill, because we're going to be talking about that next week, as well as why jungle has become the new autofill, basically. Riot sees it as a problem. The community sees it as a problem. They're trying to put champions that don't belong in the jungle just to get people to play it some more. So there's obviously something going on there. So brainstorm your little, challenge your minds about it. What's going on with the jungle? How can we fix it? And think about that discussion on if flex queue and other sources of League gameplay can actually be more deterministic to your skill level. That's all we got for you this week. I got to transition to my thing that I got to do here in a minute because they're bugging me, and I need to get water beforehand, and I also got to pee. But once again, I'm Quality. I'm joined by Squint. I'm joined over on, I think I'm pointing to the correct side. Relic on this side. Nope, Relic on that side.
Yeah.
And then that way is Perpetual Tilt.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have some contests and stuff planned for you here in the next couple weeks, like we did. And keep an eye out for when me and Grant finally hash out the details of the Roll Rumble. That'll be coming to you here pretty soon, hopefully. Other than that, that's all I got. Thanks, guys, for once again turning into week 3 of the Salty Run Back. Get ready to prove us wrong on all of our predictions this week, guys.
See y'all.